Check 1 2 1 2. This is me on the 1. Give me yours.
Check 1 2. Check 1.
Cool. Let's go live on YouTube here. Yo, hey, yeah. Hey, I'm not wearing a jacket. Oh well. I won't wear the jacket today. Kevin Owens is here. Johnny North is here. Yep. I'm here. Sorry we're late, everybody. I know people were waiting for this, right? You were like really getting antsy. You're like, come on, man, we got to get this thing going.
Just goes to show, maybe you should say like 12 and change, I guess, all the time, because it's really never noon.
Yeah, no, it's never exactly noon when we come on, but it's usually around this time we come on Friday afternoon. So if you're listening to this on the podcast version only and you're wondering when we do this show live on YouTube, it's around Fridays at noon. But it's about 12:30 now.
About 5:30 for Wally.
Yeah, 5:30 p.m. for Wally, right?
Yeah.
And for our boy Andy, who's like missing in action.
Yeah, we don't know where Andy went to. He deleted all his social medias.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with him. I hope he's all right. He said he was going through some tough times, last I heard. And, if there's anything we can do. Andy, reach out, man. Just email me. Dave@ringsidereport.net. Dave@ringsidereport.net. Just email me, Andy. Let me know you're all right. Because Andy's like one of our day one guys. Day one-ish, you know?
Yeah.
He's been around since the beginning of Wrestling Uncensored, our boy out in England. We haven't heard from him. He deleted his Twitter, deleted his Facebook. It's kind of mysterious. So I hope you're doing all right, Andy. Because, we like you. You're part of the Wrestling Uncensored family.
It's very shocking how he just disappeared. I don't want to fear the worst, but the longer this goes, the more I worry.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried. So, Andy, we're sending out like an alert. If you know where Andy is, or you know Andy in England, let us know how he's doing, where he's at. We miss you, Andy. We want you around, man. We like talking to you during wrestling shows, I miss Andy.
Wherever you are, I hope you're doing well.
Let's see, Robert Kloos, who sends us, a lot of stuff. The Abe Simpson guy on Twitter. You know what I'm talking about?
He was waiting very patiently for the show.
Oh yeah, well, yeah. And he says fingers crossed for Andy. He's like, what the hell? Still, Andy is not has not resurfaced. No, I haven't heard from Andy. It's kind of weird. We have stuff to talk about. You want to talk about 90 Day Fiancé, John? I know you watched the show again because you like it. I never told you had to watch the show. Of course, the Wrestling Uncensored universe has spoken. They said, we want to hear Johnny North talk about 90 Day Fiancé. Well, they mostly wanted to hear me give my thoughts on 90 Day Fiancé. And now, you're in on it. You're down. And I think you like it. You like 90 Day Fiancé.
I don't mind it. It's better than Total Bellas, but that's not saying much. And if people want me to watch it, I'll give it a shot. This week was not very good. If this was my first introduction to 90 Day Fiancé, I would never watch it again. It was very bad, I think, from start to finish.
I thought this week's episode was really good. You had the whole thing with Azin and Nicole, where Azin, there were some, voice messages where he was talking about kissing other ladies, and Nicole found out about it, and she's like, I'm still going to Morocco. I'm still going. That was ridiculous. That was crazy. And Ramon, there was a Ramon sighting. Ramon had a weird dinner, I guess, with George and Anfisa, even though George and Anfisa didn't eat at all. I don't know if you noticed. They're just drinking water, and Ramon's having a full burger. He's just going to town. And Ramon is the rapper Cassius, we found out this week. We didn't find out on 90 Day Fiancé. I found out on, other things, like the 90 Day Fiancé Reddit that I go to.
Okay.
And this guy Cassius was on a song with, Eminem and 50 Cent and Lloyd Banks, 13 years ago.
And he's friends with George.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I mean, he was on a song with 50 Cent and Eminem like a long time ago. It's not like he was on a lot of songs with them, you know? So now he's got to be on 90 Day Fiancé. Sometimes things work that way. But he's still making music. Some guy who like produces for him reached out to me on Twitter. He's like, "Hey man, check out Cash's music. Ramon is still doing it." I was like, "All right, cool, man. I guess."
Wow.
But I like Ramon on the show. I think I like Ramon more than I like Cassius. I think I want to see more Ramon. Rob Cluse says, "Don't do it, Johnny. Stay strong, brother. He doesn't want you watching 90 Day Fiancé." And Antoinette says, 90 Day Fiancé was good this week, and Nicole is blind. I agree with you on both fronts, Antoinette.
We need more Robs in the world, I think.
Sasha Lagarde says he can't get in on this bandwagon. He's not
right, yeah.
He's not
Yes.
going on the 90 Day Fiancé train. Why are you cheering that on? You are in on the 90 Day Fiancé train. You're part of it. Why are you cheering on somebody who's not part of it?
No, because the universe wanted me to, right? But now the universe is turning.
Oh, the
Thankfully.
universe is revolting against your 90 Day Fiancé run.
It's great.
It's not the gimmick they want you running. That's my gimmick, I guess.
Man, the show is so long, especially when it's not good, and it was not good this week. Ramon is way too over the top. His facials are just ridiculous.
Antoinette says Ramon was baked.
Yeah, possibly.
Ramon had a joint behind his ear. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
I can't believe they allow that on American television. Of course, Canadian television will be all right because we're legalizing weed October 17th.
I can tell how proud you are in your voice.
It's kind of cool. We're legalizing weed October 17th all across Canada. Weed will be legal. It's kind of crazy. Us and Uruguay, I think, are the only two countries in the world that are doing this.
It's still going to be controlled by the government, though. You can't just go out and buy it wherever.
That's what it seems like, yeah. We'll see how it goes. Wally says I have to watch 50 Shades this weekend. It was part of the deal. I don't think it was part of the deal. It was a different deal, wasn't it?
You watched 13 Reasons Why,
Yeah.
so that was fine.
That was enough. I watched enough of that 13 Reasons Why. I still never finished the second season, and I never will.
That's fine.
Never, ever will watch 13 Reasons Why again.
It's really television. Television needs to improve. There's not a lot of good shows on right now, unfortunately.
I was watching the new Arrested Development on Netflix.
More bad television.
It's all right. You don't like Arrested Development?
It's not funny.
You never watched the original seasons?
Not
The
great.
original stuff was good. You didn't like that?
Nope.
All right. I did. The new stuff is not as good, but it's all right. I haven't finished the first season yet, though. I'm not, which I think it, like, I enjoy it when I watch it, but I feel like if I really needed to watch all of it, I would have seen it all already, you know? Like when a new season of Trailer Park Boys comes out, I watch that in like 2 days.
Well, that's an event in itself when that happens, of course.
Yeah.
I did enjoy the new Jurassic World movie that came out. Comes out today. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Fantastic. First 10 minutes, very boring. Just a bunch of storytelling, but after 10 minutes, it's practically action all the way to the end. Better than the first one. The first one was really good too.
The first Jurassic Park?
Jurassic World, like this is Jurassic World's kind of like a reboot, like they're redoing the series again.
Yeah, with the guy from Parks and Rec.
Chris
Pratt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fantastic.
I didn't see that.
You didn't see the first one?
No.
First Jurassic World? Have you seen any of the Jurassic Parks?
Yeah, like bits and pieces, but I'm not big on that.
I enjoyed seeing dinosaurs rip each other apart, rip humans apart. Very enjoyable.
I'm not big on action movies in general.
You watched Expendables? Like, what's wrong with that?
Yeah, I watched it, but it's not a genre of movie that I go out of my way to see. Like superhero movies, action movies, dinosaur movies, monster movies. I'm not that into it.
That's all The Rock does now. It's just action stuff.
Yeah, and I don't see The Rock's movies.
Oh, I can't wait for Skyscraper.
I'm not excited about that. I don't care.
But he'll watch John Cena, though, of course.
I watch them on Total Bellas.
Of course.
We have Total Bellas questions.
Not a good episode again this week.
Wait a second. Before we get to the Total Bellas questions, Andy has just checked in.
Hey, Andy.
Andy in England.
Awesome.
Andy, we were just talking about you. I don't know. Maybe you can rewind to the beginning of this. I don't know if you were watching. But we were like, man, where's Andy? He deleted his Facebook. He deleted his Twitter. We didn't know where you were.
Instagram.
We were worried about you. He
deleted his Instagram, yeah.
But he's still on YouTube. Andy, we're glad to see you and hear from you. Is everything okay? Are you all right?
I hope this is Andy and not someone took over Andy.
He says he's here. How the hell are we? We're very good. How are you, Andy?
A lot
How are
better
you?
that you're here. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
And, like, you don't have to say why you deleted your Facebook or Twitter, but, like...
I just hope you're okay.
Yeah,
Whatever's going on.
You don't have to say in the YouTube chat why you deleted all your social media. I kind of want to know. I mean, I hope you're all right.
That's the important part.
Oh, he says he's all good. He never misses a show. It's a long story, but he's okay. Okay, good. That's all we need to know.
It's great. Yeah, I was worried. I was very worried. Very concerned.
Yeah. All right, good. Man, that's good. We sent out the alert, and there's Andy. Boom. Checking in. I'm happy about that. The relief, you know?
Yeah.
A few weeks ago, Wally went missing for a little while. Now Andy went missing. I can't handle it. Don't go missing on me, guys. Okay? Nobody go missing on me. You guys stick around. I don't want you disappearing. You too, John. You went missing on me for a couple days.
I don't believe I missed a episode since I've replaced Jeremy, actually.
No, well, that's true. You've never missed a show. But, like, you didn't tweet about Smackdown for a day, and I was like, where's Johnny?
Yeah, 1 day, 24 hours. Wow, it's the end of the world.
And Andy says, the power of the Jedi, I knew to log on. Now, I kind of get that reference, but I've never seen a Star Wars movie, so I don't fully get it.
Return of the Jedi was a great movie.
And Wally says, Andy, we have to check in every 24 hours. That's right. You check in with us
Apparently,
every
yeah.
24 hours. Let me know you're okay.
The Dave Simon alert goes off if you don't.
Well, when somebody deletes all their social media. And Wally, too. Wally was like, hey, I'm going off internet for a while. If you need to reach me, call me on the phone. I was like, oh, where'd he go? You know? I'm getting snaps, too. You see that? Getting a snap.
You got a snap on YouTube? That's amazing.
Well, no, it's just the YouTube is coming from the thing, and I get a snap, and I get an alert. You know, there's a social media flying all over the place. Follow me on Snapchat, Dave Simon MMA. By the way, if you don't have me on Snapchat, snap me up, Dave Simon MMA. Sometimes I post wrestling things. Mostly it's just me with funny faces. You don't have Snapchat.
I have Instagram, at Genesis Johnny North.
I'm going to get an Instagram, too. Robert Clue says everything after Empire Strikes Back was and has been complete garbage. Is that true?
I thought Return of the Jedi was a lot of fun. You didn't like Return of the Jedi? What was wrong with that?
Me?
I'm talking to Rob.
Oh. Rob says, what the hell is Snapchat? It's a thing. You know, it's a thing.
It's a Dave Simon thing, so caution.
And Andy says he's going to watch the show later. He just wanted to jump on and say he's still alive. Much love to everybody. Much love to you, Andy.
Yes.
Glad you're still alive, man. Antoinette says, what was my Snapchat? At Dave Simon MMA. It's very simple. All the things are Dave Simon MMA. Twitter, Snapchat, and when I get an Instagram, hopefully Dave Simon MMA is not taken. Don't go out and take it now and like try to hold me ransom because I'll just do a different name. I don't care.
There is a lot of Dave Simons in the world, though.
But I'm the only one that matters. Well, me and the guy that created The Wire, that is a pretty good show. I like The Wire. So he matters, too.
Disagree, but okay. Not disagree with the fact that, yeah, you are the most important Dave Simon. I agree with that.
Number one. But you disagree that The Wire was a good show?
Yeah, disagree.
Who says The Wire wasn't a good show? Who doesn't like The Wire? Man. Shocked. You are shocking me left and right this week, John. From your stance, from your political stance, to your stance on 90 Day Fiancé, right to your stance on John Cena. Let's get to that.
Total Bellas? All right.
Total Bellas. We have questions about Total Bellas.
Got a lot of questions this week. It's
yeah,
fantastic.
we're getting a lot of questions. I'm missing some of the questions on YouTube because there's a lot of them. Antoinette had a question about Total Bellas. John Big Secret. Who knows his chances of having a baby now? Yeah, we got to talk about John Cena and his vasectomy and the reverse vasectomy surgery that he's going to have. Am I saying that right? Vasectomy? Sounds weird.
No, I think you're saying it
right. Yeah, so John Cena and Nikki Bella had a big meeting, had a big date, big reconciliation where they got back together, and Cena says to Nikki, Nikki's like, I just want to be a mom. And then Cena's like, well, I will make the sacrifice. I will give you a Cena child. And Nikki's like, oh, John, you're going to be such a good dad. And Cena's like, I didn't buy it. I didn't buy it at all. I didn't like Cena in that moment. You thought Cena was like being a good guy there, right? You think Cena's making a sacrifice.
He gave her what she wanted. What she always wanted. And what he told her from the start wasn't going to happen, but he finally decided to give in.
To give in. To make the sacrifice. Imagine being that child and seeing your dad one day on TV saying that you were a sacrifice, that he's just allowing your mother to have you because he doesn't want you. Is that really the environment you want to bring a kid into?
Do you really want
to a father that doesn't want him?
I question bringing a kid into the world and there's a bunch of cameras in their face all the time. And there's millions of people watching them every week.
Don't you dare question Daniel Bryan. How dare you? Are you making a slight at Daniel Bryan? Was that a knock? Was that a subtle jab? No, not on this show. We do not question anything Daniel Bryan does on this show. On this show, Daniel Bryan is Ichiban.
Except the man bun they did this week.
Oh, he looked great. He looked fantastic.
Never on WWE television, please.
Best part of Total Bellas, though, was the beginning when Johnny Ace was on a skateboard and there was Dynamic Dudes references. Pretty sweet.
It was awesome that he was great and Nikki kept falling. That was fun.
Could you believe that Johnny Ace is still pretty good on a skateboard? That was the best part. He's actually he can skateboard, Johnny Ace, because he was a dynamic dude in WCW where he came to the ring on a skateboard. Him and Shane Douglas, right?
I believe so, but they botched it. They said Nikki or Bree said, "Oh, in WWE he was this," but no, that was WCW.
Did Nikki say WWE?
WWE.
Did Johnny Ace ever wrestle in WWE?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Unbelievable. People are adding each other on Snapchat here on the there's questions coming on the YouTube chat, but there's also the people talking to each other. Sasha and Wally and Antoinette, they're all talking to each other, adding each other on Snapchat.
It's fantastic. Great.
Antoinette says it might not happen. Poor guy making a sacrifice for her does not sound like he even wants a kid and will eventually know that they're just not happy together and it's not about a baby. Yeah, and that's what it seemed like on the coming up on Total Bellas. Nikki seems like she's not that happy with Cena, and it might not work out in the end.
It just sounds like she's never happy. There's always a problem. Oh, the autograph signings are hard. Oh, it's hard to drive around having an assistant. It's such a hard life.
I don't see her complaining that much. I don't know what you're talking about.
Was she not complaining this week about how, she had to go to the autograph signing all by herself? That was so tough. And she did not say it was this is so difficult to do. Hanging out with her fans that paid to see her. Rough life.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What did you watch?
What did you watch?
It's clearly what she said.
So you're happy with this? You're happy with what Cena did there?
They're still together, right? They're not broken up now?
Maybe. Who knows?
Isn't this what she wanted? A kid, after all? She's getting what she wanted, so.
Robert asking, Nikki Bella has an assistant? Yeah, it seems like the Bella twins have an assistant.
Yeah, Claire's pretty hot. No doubt about that. If Cena's cheating on Nikki, definitely with Claire. Without question.
Where is this coming from?
I think that'd be a great twist in the show if that's what happens.
All right. Okay.
Well, it'd be great if the show was like that. I still twist. It's better than the Carmella twist. The Carmella twist, I don't agree with that so much.
Well,
he's dying over here, by the way.
Wally's saying brill, Johnny. I think that means brilliant. I'm also supposed to fit in the word class. That was class, Johnny. Real class.
Yeah, but you say it in a negative way, though.
No. Well, I'm trying to use it in, class. There you go. Wally uses these cool words because he's Irish, you know. He's like, oh, that was brilliant. Or like I say something on Twitter, he's like, that's pure class, you know. I'm like, yeah, we don't use these words enough here. Pure class.
I listened to like his phone conversation he had with you. That was fantastic. Like,
yeah.
Wally should call in every week.
Yeah, Wally, you should call in more often to the live Ringside Report radio shows. I understand it's like 5 a.m. your time, so it might be tough. But it's good to hear from you. It's always good. Anybody should call into those shows. You know, when we're live on TSN 690, call in. We'll talk to you. You can talk to AJ. Call in tonight. We'll be live tonight at some point. I'm not sure when. Johnny was informing me that Ringside Report Radio may be on late tonight. Johnny has to inform me about that stuff, apparently, but...
Because he doesn't know anything about hockey, and there's a draft tonight, so...
There's a draft?
Yeah.
Like it's windy?
Like they're bringing in new players.
Uh-huh. Yeah. A hockey one.
Yeah.
Cool. Sounds good.
Game with sticks.
Antoinette saying, no AJ, let's add Wally. Give AJ the night off. Not a bad idea. Bring Wally in. Get rid of AJ.
Ooh, that sucks for AJ. It's too bad.
I don't like
that. Is
that.
he out of prison, by the way?
No, AJ was never in prison. He did the show last week. Everything was fine. Rob says, do we take calls for wrestling? Not really, because we're usually... It's like a, you know...
You'll talk about it. I mean, if someone wants to talk about wrestling, you'll talk about it, no?
Oh, yeah. Like, if you want to... Yeah, for sure. Rob, if you want to call the live Ringside Report radio show and talk wrestling, we'll talk wrestling with you. It's cool. I mean, what's going on in the UFC anyways, really? Anything? Is there anything going on? Like, I mean, DC and Stipe are fighting in a couple weeks, and that's pretty cool. And Ganu's going to fight Derek Lewis on that card. That card's going to be sick, UFC 226. But in the meantime, we're kind of like, what's next? What's
AJ up to lately? That's pretty much it.
Yeah. But yeah. Not really on Wrestling Uncensored, but if you want to call Ringside Report Radio, we'll talk to you about wrestling. Fred loves wrestling. Fred was watching Money in the Bank. He loved the Alexa cash-in. Sasha wants to know, did we watch TakeOver? I watched TakeOver. I thought TakeOver was excellent. I also watched Kizuna Road this week. Some Kizuna Road shows that New Japan was doing. I saw Goto take the Never Openweight Championship back from Michael Elgin, which was kind of surprising because Elgin just took the title from him in a three-way at Dominion. But I did see TakeOver. Did you see TakeOver?
I didn't.
You didn't see TakeOver. You're watching too much 90 Day Fiancé and Total Bellas, and I'd like you to watch a little bit more wrestling, to be honest.
That sounds fine.
Watch TakeOver and watch New Japan. What are you doing? Have you seen Kenny Omega versus Okada yet?
No.
Have you seen Chris Jericho versus Naito yet?
No.
I'm done.
I did watch Money in the Bank this week, Raw and SmackDown.
So? I watched that plus Kizuna Road. And I'm going to talk about the G1 in a second for all you New Japan fans like I am that understand where the real pro wrestling is, that understand where the real pro wrestlers do real work. I'm going to get to the New Japan, the G1, the A block and the B block and the crazy matchups that are coming up in New Japan. My goodness. Sasha says Dominion will be 95% better. 95% will be better than 95% of WWE pay-per-views this year, hands down. I'd say Dominion will be better than 100% of WWE pay-per-views this year.
Money in the Bank was very good.
Dominion was way better. You didn't see it.
Did Dominion have James Ellsworth? I don't think so.
Did Money in the Bank have Chris Jericho? Did Money in the Bank have maybe the greatest match of all time over an hour? Kenny Omega, the number one wrestler on the planet, and Kazuchika Okada? Everybody's agreeing with me, by the way. Rob, Sasha, they're all agreeing with me. Dominion was number one. Ichiban. Best card of the year by far. Crazy. The only thing that rivals it was Wrestle Kingdom. But I think Dominion was even better. New Japan keeps getting better and better and better. Wally says, Johnny, definitely start watching. It's so good. At first I wasn't sure, but it is incredible.
That's helpful. That's good.
Amy Giraffe says, Johnny, you need to watch it. And Wally says, Swearico.
I think that's Wally's girl, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know. I don't know who's who these days, man. There's a lot of people on the YouTube. I can't keep up. And Robert says, Omega at Slammiversary? I don't think so. I think Omega's exclusive to New Japan. But, Omega, his catchphrase, change the world. You never know.
Man, if Omega's at Slammiversary, that's in Toronto. Well, it took you a while to realize that, but okay.
When's Slammiversary?
Like July something? Late July?
Who would he work?
Well, I would think Austin Aries, no? Would make sense.
Okay. Well, if they announce that, hey, who's that guy? Hey, I just saw a guy.
I missed it. Too bad.
You didn't see that guy?
No, I missed it. Oh, there he is. What's up, little guy?
What's up, little guy? Little guy's over here.
It's like a little David.
Hey, should I bring him on?
You could if you want. I have no problem with it. Oh, he's a little scared, though, I think. What coming on?
This thing. Uh-oh. Cameo. Ah!
His second one ever. Hey, what's up? I know.
Little
That's
man.
big. I know. Really big.
Yeah, he hasn't been on the show for a while. Little Zev. Little man. It's his birthday this weekend. He's going to be 1. So this is his cameo for his first birthday on the Wrestling Uncensored pre-show.
I know.
We should get back to New Japan talk, Zev. All right, buddy?
I don't know. He likes to look at my biceps a lot, though. I don't know.
Yeah, he's impressed. He's like, what kind of man is this?
I know. One day, Zev. One day, we'll go to the gym.
All right, buddy. All right, say bye.
Oh, he likes that microphone, though.
Yeah, he does like the mic.
Yep. Did you like your present I got you? Yeah?
Yeah, did you see your ball? Johnny North got him a France-Russia 2018 World Cup soccer ball. It is sweet. Zev likes soccer. He's a France fan like I am. His birthday is the 24th of June, this Sunday. It'll be his first birthday. He's turning 1.
Hit it with it.
All right. Zevy. There he goes.
Bye, Zev.
Oh, bye, buddy. I'll see you later.
Bye, Zev.
Oh, he's mad. He liked being on the show. Oh, he's really mad.
Yep. You're going to pay for that one now.
Yeah, he's mad. Well, I'll put him on YouTube later. He'll have his own show one day. And give him his Fred Owens toy. Yeah, he does like the Fred Owens. Anthony dubbed him Fred Owens, Little Fred, Mini Fred.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So that was my boy doing a little cameo on the show.
Awesome. Well, again, happy birthday.
Yeah, man. He's going to turn 1. He's a good man. And Wally says Zeb, Z-E-B. It's actually Zev, Z-E-V. It's a V, Wally. Just so we're clear.
Sometimes they call him Zevy.
Zevy, yeah, Z-E-V-Y. Sometimes. But officially, his name is Zev. That's his official name. Oh, it's his iPhone. It's one of those gimmicks. I didn't name him after Zeb Coulter, just in case anybody wants to know. I didn't name my son after that short-lived Dutch Mantel gimmick in the WWE. That would be weird. That would be a weird move. So New Japan, the G1. Should we get back into it? It's just the best wrestling, John. It's the best. It's the best thing that's going on in professional wrestling, and you're missing out. And if Kenny Omega is indeed going to wrestle at Slammiversary in Toronto, I may have to make my way to Toronto. Depends who he's working, though. But the G1 is coming up. It's a month-long tournament, okay? It features all the top talent in New Japan.
Okay.
It will run from July 14th to August 12th. And there are 2 blocks. Okay, so there's A block and there's B block. The way it works is it's a round-robin tournament. So everybody wrestles each other. Mm-hmm. You get 2 points for a win, 1 point for a time limit draw. Every match is a 30-minute time limit.
Okay.
So if you go 30 minutes and nobody wins, you get a point. If you lose, you get 0 points. And if you win, you get 2 points. Right?
Okay. All right.
And in both blocks, everybody wrestles each other over the month. And then at the end, the winner of A block, the guy who's got the most points, and the guy who's got the most points in B block, they wrestle each other in the final. And then the winner of that is the winner of the G1.
Okay. Huh.
So it's not like, a tournament where it's like brackets, and
right.
It's not that type of tournament at all. Okay, so first you got to wrap your head around that, how it works. Okay? But it's a cool format because, in a bracket tournament, not everybody winds up wrestling each other. You just have certain matchups. In this format, everybody wrestles each other, so you wind up with some crazy matchups. Like, for example, the first night in B block, Tetsuya Naito will wrestle Kenny Omega.
Wow.
Naito, Omega, Ibushi, Kota Ibushi, Zack Sabre Jr., Sanada, Hiroki Goto, Juice Robinson, Tama Tonga, Toru Yano, and Tomohiro Ishii are all B block. So all those guys will wind up wrestling each other once by the end of this thing. And that means that Kenny Omega will wind up wrestling not only Tetsuya Naito, but also his tag team partner in the Golden Lovers, Kota Ibushi. And that match will take place, I think, at the end of this thing, on the last night, just before the finals. It'll be the main event, August 11th in Tokyo. Ibushi versus Omega. Naito versus Zack Sabre Jr.
Wow, this is a very long tournament.
Yeah, it's a month long.
Yeah.
And there are many, many matches and many events. But man, the matchups are going to be incredible. A block has Togi Makabe, Yoshihashi, Bad Luck Fale, Hangman Page, Michael Elgin, Evil, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Minoru Suzuki, Kazuchika Okada, and Jay White. So Okada will wind up wrestling Suzuki, Tanahashi, Bad Luck Fale. I mean, Suzuki's going to wind up wrestling all these guys, which is really cool. Like, Suzuki and Hangman Page is going to happen. Suzuki and Michael Elgin is going to be ridiculous. Suzuki Togi Makabe is going to be real solid. Suzuki Jay White is going to be real interesting. The tournament is awesome. The matches that we're going to have. I mean, just for example, on one card, July 26th, it'll be Tetsuya Naito versus Tama Tonga, Tomohiro Ishii versus Zack Sabre Jr., Juice Robinson versus Kenny Omega, and Kota Ibushi against Sanada. It's a great card.
Yeah?
They're killing it every night for a month. If you're ever going to sign up for New Japan World, now would be the time. I've already got my subscription. Pay every month automatically because I don't ever want to stop watching this stuff. It is the best wrestling on the planet.
So here's my question for you. Besides this, when's Chris Jericho's next appearance?
I don't know.
He won the championship.
Yeah.
Clearly there's going to be another one.
He's not in the G1, so it's not going to be until at least, I'd say September.
Wow.
Maybe October. I don't know.
And Ray? Is Ray done, or what's going on with Ray?
I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Okay.
I think it's kind of months away. Jericho is months away. It's not going to happen for a while. Getting some comments here on YouTube. Wally says, the G1 will be a great way to get into it. Watch that and you're going to be hooked. Rob says, didn't Naito win the G1 last year? I don't know. Did Naito win the G1 last year? I don't really know. Like, I only really started watching New Japan because of Chris Jericho.
So Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah. I mean, I was kind of following it loosely. You know, once in a while you hear about Kenny Omega wrestling Okada, and you'd watch that, and it's like, yeah, that's cool. But I don't know who won the G1 last year. Like, I'm a New Japan fan. I'm not going to, lie to anybody about that. And then Rob says the winner headlines Wrestle Kingdom. Oh, that's cool.
Wow.
So the winner of the G1 headlines Wrestle Kingdom, I guess, against who, though? How does that work? Like, what if Kenny Omega winds up winning? If he's the champion, how does that work? I don't really understand. Like, I'm still new to this New Japan thing, and I know that after about a year, I'll have figured it all out. Like, their format and how it works.
Right.
Because, you go through a full calendar year of events, just like in the WWE, you figure it out after about a year. You're like, oh, okay, I see how this format works. But I'm still new to New Japan, and I love it. It's great. So much fun. You got to get into it, man.
Eventually.
Yeah. I mean, I got a subscription for what? Christmas? Because I wanted to watch Wrestle Kingdom. Because I knew Chris Jericho was going to wrestle Kenny Omega. And I've been hearing so much about this Naito and Okada and all these great matches that they're having over there. And I'm like, man, I got to get into this stuff. And I did, and I haven't looked back. I'm addicted to it.
First things first, I got to watch all the episodes of What's Fandom in Japan. And then that'll help catch me up to what's been going on. And then we'll see. Watch a couple of the matches.
Yeah. You haven't even listened to What's Fandom in Japan. Rob Clue says Phantom loves Hangman. He really does. He likes Hangman Page a lot. He thinks Hangman's great. I do too. I think he's fantastic. And then New Japan's doing that show at the Cow Palace in San Francisco in like early July. And that's going to be at a normal time for us. It's not going to be at like 3 in the morning. Maybe you should come over and watch that, and we'll do a post show.
Sounds like a plan.
That might happen. It's in the works. I'll figure out exactly what time that show's going to be on, and maybe we do that. That'll be your introduction to New Japan. Cody challenging Kenny Omega for the NJPW, the IWGP heavyweight title.
Right. Oh, that's a solid main event.
Wally wants to know if you enjoyed your night out with Phantom. Yeah, you watched the Money in the Bank pay-per-view with Phantom. So it was like a Wrestling Uncensored meets What's Phantom in Japan crisscross over there. Except I wasn't even there.
Yeah, you weren't there.
I did the post show with my brother, which you can see on YouTube and check out on our website, ringsidereport.net.
It was a lot of fun, and I tweeted that it probably made Money in the Bank a lot more enjoyable because watching with Phantom, getting his perspective on things. He's wrestled Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens before, so it's just nice to get his feelings on things. And he felt it was going to be Braun Strowman, by the way, winning Money in the Bank before it even happened.
Oh, yeah?
He's like, man, a guy that big, how can he lose? Obviously, he thinks like that because he's kind of like a Braun Strowman here in Quebec, so I get his philosophy on it, but he was right.
Yeah, well, he knows his wrestling. He knows exactly what he's talking about. And it made sense, man. Braun Strowman's getting a big push. Sasha says, my brother was awesome. He thought he did great.
He was.
Maybe my brother should get his own wrestling show.
If he takes over the post shows, it's not the.
Well, he's gonna be doing a lot more post shows going forward for sure. Wally says, "Great seeing my brother on it." Yeah, for sure. He's gonna be on. He's gonna be on more often. He listens to all the episodes of Wrestling Uncensored, and we go to all the wrestling shows together. Like, my brother and I are big wrestling fans. Like, as much as I'm a wrestling fan, he's like right there with me. Except he's not watching New Japan either, and it's pissing me off. Because we talk wrestling all the time, and I'm like, just watch New Japan so I can talk to you about this, and I'm just on him about the G1 and about Dominion, about all this stuff, and I see his eyes glaze over. He's like, whatever. Because he doesn't know what I'm talking about. He doesn't care. But it's like, man, if you would watch it, you would care. So there's a message to my brother. I know you're watching this, or you're going to be listening to this later. Watch New Japan, or else I will take it out on you. He's my younger brother. He knows what I'm talking about. That's a threat. That is a threat.
I know you were kind of upset because he was reading the comments on the YouTube, and
Yeah.
he wasn't allowed to.
No, he's not allowed to. You're not allowed to either.
Okay.
Because, it's a format, John. Stick to the format.
I don't think I ever have. It just I never thought about doing that. So, but it's nice to know that it upsets you a bit doing that.
Yeah, that was a big deal on that show. It was fun. A little bit of a fight that broke out.
Yeah,
Did you watch it or did you listen to it? You watched it.
I watched it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't condone the violence. I don't think that's the answer ever. It shouldn't be. But clearly you think differently, Mr. MMA.
Aren't you a pro wrestling guy?
Entertainment.
Oh, entertainment. Sports entertainment. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Something's going on with our YouTube show. Do we freeze? I don't think so. I mean, we're still going here, right? But it looks a little gimmicky. Like the comments are kind of stopped. Maybe we should stop this thing altogether. What do you think?
Unless people have last comments. If you can get this refreshed at all.
Yeah, I don't know. We're having a technical issue here.
Well, as long as we're still somewhat live, I got one more little thing. Because I missed Father's Day for you, so I had this for you to give you. I know how much you love cock, so there you go.
What is this?
I believe that's the current one, if I'm not mistaken.
No way.
See, I know he likes cock. See, look at his excitement over cock. So much excitement.
You got me the current France World Cup jersey?
Yeah, you don't have it, right? You only have 2006.
No, I don't have it.
Thank goodness. Wow, that's... Ugh. Relax,
I love this guy.
Relax.
I love
All
this
right.
guy.
Yeah, that's good.
This is my guy right here.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
no touching is a lot more appropriate. The
What
lack
a
of touch.
good guy.
I wouldn't mind if we're not on still.
This is awesome. This is awesome. Thank you so much. This is too much. Oh, unbelievable.
It is.
This guy,
amazing.
This guy is the best guy. This unbelievable.
I'm well aware.
What a guy. Let me see if we can get the YouTube comments back on.
I think you'll be able to, it looks like.
Oh, yeah. Class. That
Always
is class.
I know.
Pure class. We got the YouTube comments back going. We're all good.
Cock.
Oh, yeah. The golden cock of France. Oh, this is beautiful. Oh, my God. Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. Everybody's saying how nice it is. Amy, which you were correct. I think that is Wally's girlfriend. She says it looks class. It does look class. Bloody class. Would you say that? Bloody class? Is that too much? I don't know.
A little extreme, but Extreme Rules is coming up next. So
wants me to talk about the World Cup. The World Cup has been exciting. Argentina losing yesterday to that country, Croatia. The Croatians,
Yes.
That was crazy. Mexico beating Germany, also crazy. It's wild, man. It's wild what's happening. Brazil played this morning, but I missed it. I was asleep. They won? Who'd they play?
Who'd they play? Costa Rica, I think.
And France is doing well. They're 2-0, on to the knockout stages. Everything's going well. France is going to win the World Cup.
They got one more game before the knockout, but yeah.
Yeah, but they're, they've qualified.
Advanced, yeah.
No matter what happens. They could lose to Denmark. They're still qualifying. It doesn't matter.
That's good.
They're going through. They're winning the World Cup. It's all good. And Russia doing pretty good, too. Like, I'm telling you, don't count Russia out. I know people think Russia, like soccer, come on, they have no chance. But it's in Russia. Vladimir Putin, you never know what might happen. If you watch the movie Icarus, you know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't watched that movie, check it out on Netflix. Very, very good documentary about doping and how Russians are really good at it.
Okay.
They know how to cheat. If anybody's good at cheating in their home country, it's Mother Russia. Pogmohon, pronounced Pogmahone. Pogmahone is Irish for kiss my ass. You can say that in Canada and people won't know. That's a tip from Wally. I don't know why he's giving us that tip, but take that, John.
Okay.
You can do an Irish gimmick.
I think Wally does it the best.
Antoinette says, Johnny deserves to read comments for that shirt, Dave.
I guess. I don't find the comments are that big of a deal. I don't understand why that had to be a thing, but I think that's a Simon issue, in my opinion. It is, because it's not a Johnny North issue, that's for sure.
Why are you dissing the comments?
I'm not dissing the comments, but that's your thing. That's what you do.
Okay, we have a public service announcement. Rob says if anyone finds a small dog near St. Rock and Lackady, it belongs to Jimmy G. Yes, that Jimmy G. Okay, I have a lot of questions. A, why do you know about this dog, Rob? And he says the comments add spice to the show. I agree, Rob. I like the comments. I like interacting with people. John, why are you dissing the Wrestling Uncensored universe?
I'm not. It's your thing. That's what I'm saying.
All right. It's cool.
It's not my thing.
How do you know about this Jimmy G thing? And Jimmy G is a guy that works at TSN. He's a very odd man. Shout out to you, Jimmy G. I know you're not watching or listening to this. I could bury Jimmy right now, but I'm not going to.
Jimmy's a nice guy. I like Jimmy.
All right. Rob says he's friends with Jimmy G. We played Cosm together. So, Rob, you know about Jimmy G, right? He's like, he's a character, right? You know what I'm saying?
He likes wrestling. I like people who like wrestling.
He does like wrestling, but Wally says, shout out to Muscles Marco and AJ. Yeah, big shout out to them. Muscles Marco got a Twitter. Check him out on Twitter. I forget what it is, but I'll plug it. Yeah, I told him to get Twitter on the show last week, and he got one.
He followed me, I know.
Did you follow him?
Yeah.
Nice. So, yeah, Muscles Marco will be on the show tonight. I'll be on the show tonight. Fred, AJ, the whole crew. Maybe Johnny North will stop in, but probably not. Probably not. Rob says Jimmy's a character. You couldn't make a lot of that up, and I agree. Yeah, Jimmy. Yeah. Jimmy is like too much, man. He comes in. I see him a lot around, the radio station, and oh man, it's an experience with Jimmy G. Jimmy the Genius. Any final questions, comments here? The pre-show's running long. We got to get to some other stuff, other business.
The show itself.
The Wrestling Uncensored show, which will air on TSN 690 tomorrow night, and then on the podcast, WrestlingUncensored.net, on iTunes, and on this very YouTube channel, because all our shows automatically get uploaded to YouTube. So you could just subscribe to YouTube and have everything there. It's pretty easy. We make it very easy for you to find these shows. So there you go. Rob says he tries to volunteer a lot with stray animals and help when he can. Good man, Rob. One of my cats was a stray. She just started living in my backyard, so I said, all right, you live with me now.
Wow, that's awesome.
Take care of animals. They need you. They're helpless. All right, thanks, everybody. Thanks for commenting. Rob, Antoinette, Wally, Amy, Andy for checking in. Sasha. Man, it was a lot. It was like almost too many to mention. I'm trying to get to the top to get to all the things, but I can't because there's been so many comments. So thanks to everybody for watching and commenting, and thanks to you, Johnny North, for this sweet jersey. This is amazing. I can't believe it. John North's birthday coming up July 10th?
That's correct.
July 10th. I finally got it.
Best day in the world.
July 10th. So I've got that circled on my calendar. I'm not sure what to get you.
Get me everything. That works.
All right. This has been the Wrestling Uncensored pre-show. Thanks, everybody.
Hello, this is Mick Foley, and you are listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
Hey, this is the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, and you are listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
Hey, this is Trish Stratus, and you're listening to Wrestling Uncensored. Keep listening. Stratisfaction is guaranteed.
Aw, yeah. Welcome to Wrestling Uncensored. I am Dave Simon. He is Johnny North. WrestlingUncensored.net is our website right here on TSN 690 every Saturday night, talking professional wrestling. We just wrapped up the world-famous Wrestling Uncensored pre-show, which is always on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ringsidereport.net, with that .net spelled out, D-O-T-N-E-T. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have post-shows, pre-shows, all the shows. I was on with my brother right after the last pay-per-view, Money in the Bank for the WWE. I was on live recapping that show with you on our YouTube channel so you could see us. It's a video show. It's a podcast. It's a whole thing. YouTube.com/ringsidereport.net. All the info on that at WrestlingUncensored.net. Money in the Bank did go down this past weekend. We have a lot to get to in the world of the WWE. I do want to look forward to the next pay-per-view, WWE Extreme Rules, but Big Johnny, you were not with me during Money in the Bank. I know that we saw your thoughts on Twitter at North Genesis, but what did you think of that Money in the Bank pay-per-view? Good, bad, scale on 10. What do you give it?
I thought it was very good. Solid 7, without question. I thought the ladder matches delivered. I thought the women title matches delivered. The WWE Championship match delivered. Yes, Roman Reigns, Jinder Mahal was bad, and so was Bobby Lashley, Sami Zayn, but that doesn't take away from the rest of the pay-per-view. I thought that was one of the best showings I've seen all year from WWE.
That Kevin Owens bump in the ladder match definitely stole the show in that match. I thought AJ Nakamura was incredible. I thought they did what they needed to do for us to be satisfied with that feud. They had their classic match. I think a lot of people were disappointed with their match at WrestleMania. It was good, but it wasn't maybe as good as you were expecting it. And I think maybe it took a little time to find the match that we wanted out of these two, and we got it at Money in the Bank. I thought that was the best match on the card by far. Well, maybe not by far. I thought Ronda and Nia did a really good job too. But I really like that AJ Nakamura match. I think that'll be like when you're looking at the career retrospective of AJ Styles in WWE, that match will be on it. Like if you're going to pick one match of the Shinsuke and AJ feud, they've had several matches. I think that will be the top pick.
Well, it's tough because I had such low expectations for Ronda versus Nia. For it to be that good, I think it may have been the best because I didn't expect it to be anywhere close to as good as it was. Where Nakamura and AJ, we've been expecting that for months to be that good. And you needed some salad dressing to make it good.
But I think maybe that's why it was the best match on the card, because the expectations were so high that they had to deliver even more. Ronda and Nia didn't have to do that much to exceed your expectations. I thought Ronda and Nia did a great job, but the match only lasted 11 minutes. Shinsuke and AJ went 30 minutes. And I think for a championship caliber wrestling match, like Ronda and Nia, they did a good match. It was a cool feature on the show, but the real wrestling match, the real display of top caliber professional wrestlers was Shinsuke and AJ.
Well, in terms of like wrestling that I really enjoyed watching, I mean, I enjoy watching AJ Nakamura wrestle more than Ronda and Nia. There's no question about that. But when you look back at Nia's career, the fact that she was able to pull off a match of that caliber, that was probably the match of her career right there.
I'd say without a doubt. And maybe minute for minute, like pound for pound, the Ronda Nia Jax was better. But because the AJ Nakamura match was nearly 3 times as long, I felt like they did more and they told a longer, more complex story in that match. And the finish was incredible. That finish, the phenomenal forearm to the outside onto Nakamura, breaking the table, it was just perfect.
I think it's how you look at it, because at one end, yeah, it was a good finish. It was spectacular to see, but it's also sad because that's the end of Nakamura. He's not going for the WWE Championship. 4 or 5 pay-per-views now of AJ Nakamura, and it was all for naught.
Well, he's not going to be the WWE Champion right now. Not to say that he will never be the WWE Champion, though.
It's not a good sign when you win the Royal Rumble and you still haven't won the WWE Championship by this point. Not a good sign at all.
But you're talking like his career's going to be over in a year. I mean, who knows where Nakamura goes?
If he goes back to Japan, I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't know what his contract situation is, but it's possible. But I think he's going to keep trying to make it work for the WWE. I don't see Nakamura going anywhere. He started a feud with Jeff Hardy. He cut a little promo on SmackDown. That's really all he did this week on SmackDown. That's all Jeff Hardy did. But despite the fact that English is Jeff Hardy's first language, I think Nakamura did the better promo.
I did like that Jeff's bringing back the face paint, though.
Yeah, his look was really cool at the end, but that whole promo with his back turned to the camera on SmackDown this week, it was bizarre. And I felt like he was going to say, I am now broken, and it felt like, the knee to face, it did something to me, I'm now something, but it's not broken. He's just Jeff Hardy, and he can see, and he's got contact lenses and different face paint. The face paint is similar to stuff we've seen in the past from Jeff Hardy, though. It wasn't a huge departure on Jeff Hardy. We've seen him do that thing with the face paint to make it look like his eyes are open when his eyes are closed. He's done it before. And he's worn contact lenses before. It was a cool look on SmackDown for that promo, but, I don't know. Wasn't anything we haven't seen before from Jeff Hardy. I would like to see him continue this look, though. Keep it. Because Jeff, with his face paint and his eye things, it doesn't stay consistent all the time. One week he'll come out with face paint, and next week he'll come out without face paint. You never know where you're going to get with Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always seem like there's a purpose to it. Sometimes Jeff Hardy comes out with full face paint for, a nothing match, and you're like, wow, what's this about? And sometimes he doesn't, and you're like, well, this is a big match. Why don't you kind of dress up, There's no rhyme or reason for it. I feel like it's mostly based on Jeff Hardy's mood at the time. He's an artist, But this look that he put on for SmackDown this week, I think was a cool look, and it'd be cool if he continued it, at least for this feud with Nakamura. Just kept it consistent.
Yeah, we'll see with Jeff. You just never know with Jeff. You never know what kind of wrestler you're going to get in that ring. But that's the fun part of Jeff Hardy. As much as that's kind of a trouble with him, I don't know if you saw the network special on him, where they pretty much exposed him. I
actually have not seen that yet. I've been hearing great things about it, and there's been a lot of pro wrestling, some New Japan stuff going on this week, and Money in the Bank and all. I haven't got around to that Hardy Boy special, but I heard it's great.
The fact that they talk about the DUI that just happened recently, it's amazing. They don't usually talk about stuff like that.
But you see, they're really stepping up their programming right after Money in the Bank. You know why that is, right?
To beat you.
They're counter-programming the Wrestling Uncensored post-shows. They're trying to counter-program me, John. Unbelievable. Vince, I know what you're doing. Stephanie, hello. Stephanie's always listening. Stephanie McMahon, big fan of Wrestling Uncensored. We give her a shout-out. We never say bad things about Stephanie on this show, okay? Never.
Well, we did criticize the whole, why are you reversing the Ronda armbar more times than anyone ever did in UFC history.
Well, we got to question these things. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Ronda Rousey had a pretty great week.
Yep.
How awesome is Ronda? And how excited are you for her next match now? That match with Nia Jax was so good. And I want to put things into perspective. That was Nia Jax's best match by far in her entire career. And that was Ronda Rousey's second match ever. Ronda gave Nia her greatest match in only Ronda's second outing for the WWE. Ronda is really good at pro wrestling. It's not just the WrestleMania spot where you're like, wow, Ronda's got promise. Ronda had a match with Nia Jax. And Johnny North, you're sitting here telling me it was match of the night better than AJ Styles and Nakamura going 30 minutes in a classic. Ronda Rousey is the next big thing in professional wrestling. This is incredible. This is a revelation. And what she did on Raw this week, awesome. Great segment from Ronda Rousey. She shows up after Alexa Bliss was running her down. Kurt Angle in the ring talking about Alexa, and Ronda Rousey shows up, but Angle's holding Ronda back, and then Ronda attacks Alexa. Angle tries to pull Ronda off. Ronda judo throws Kurt Angle. starts attacking Alexa with the Money in the Bank briefcase like Alexa did to her the night before when she cashed in. Ronda wants revenge for the attack from Alexa and also Alexa disrupting her match with Nia Jax, right? It ended in a disqualification because Alexa stormed the ring to cash in the Money in the Bank that she had won at Money in the Bank, winning the ladder match. So Ronda wants revenge. She's attacking Alexa. Angle tries to stop her again after getting judo tossed. And Ronda starts smacking Angle with the briefcase. Referees storm the ring. Ronda starts kicking and punching them. The referees jump out of the ring. And then what did Ronda do? She picks up Alexa Bliss and gives her one of the most devastating power bombs you've ever seen through a table right in the ring. Incredible performance from Ronda Rousey. She walks out of the ring, goes backstage, and Kurt Angle informs her that she is suspended for 30 days from the WWE. So I guess we're not going to see Ronda for 30 days, but I love what Ronda is doing on her Twitter and her Instagram. She is counting down the days until she gets her hands on Alexa Bliss. She's like, 30 days, and then she's like, 28, 27, 26. I'm coming for you, Alexa. Ronda is all in. You know, and I'm not talking about Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks. Ronda is all in professional wrestling. She is fully into this. She's fully invested, and she's very good. She is doing big things right now for the WWE. Big.
Question is now, do you think it's going to be Alexa versus Ronda at SummerSlam?
Yes.
Or will be Ronda versus Alexa versus Nia?
I don't know. I don't know if you need Nia in there as a triple threat. Why not just have it one-on-one?
Because I would just think one-on-one, it's clearly just going to be a squash. Like, she should beat Alexa very quickly. But if you throw Nia in there, it throws it off a bit.
That's a good point. I feel like SummerSlam, though, is when Ronda gets the title. And if you don't think she deserves the title, watch that match at Money in the Bank. Who's better than Ronda? Who in the women's division is a better character, better wrestler than Ronda Rousey right now?
I agree. The thing is, though...
And I'm including Asuka in that.
Well, Asuka had a bad week this week, so...
We'll get to that.
But when you're involved with Stephanie, when you're involved with a McMahon, you can always get screwed over.
Right. They could do something to Ronda at SummerSlam.
There was no Stephanie at Money in the Bank, so they haven't used that card yet.
I guess. I don't know. I felt like we were done with that.
Oh, I don't think so. That's
No?
always going to be around, I think.
Oh, my God. I don't really need it to be around anymore. But I would like to see Ronda Rousey back in the ring as soon as possible. I'm disappointed that she's been, suspended or whatever by the WWE here. She won't be at Extreme Rules. It will be Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss again, a match that no one's excited about. Not a compelling matchup there. And Ronda won't be at Extreme Rules because Extreme Rules is on July 15th. Ronda's suspension will run up on Wednesday, July 18th. Technically, but Raw, the next Raw she'd be able to appear on would be July the 23rd. So not even the Raw on the 16th after Money in the Bank, after Extreme Rules, she still will be suspended, not only for Extreme Rules, but for the Raw after. So she'd have to wait an extra week on the 23rd to show up on Raw, which is kind of weird. I think they should just make it a 28-day suspension, and instead of having it lifted on the 6th or on the 18th on a Wednesday, which is like pointless for the WWE, why not say it's a 28-day suspension and it's been lifted on the 16th, so Ronda, the night after Extreme Rules, can be on Raw?
Well, they write the storylines, right? I mean, if they wanted to, they can just say, like, oh, well, based off what you did, Alexa, whatever happened on Sunday, you did something so wrong, so Ronda's suspension has been lifted. Kurt Angle could do that.
Yeah, Kurt Angle can say on Raw, Ronda's whatever. Alexa, you're a jerk. You screwed over Nia Jax last night. Ronda Rousey's in the building tonight, and I've lifted her suspension 2 days early.
It could happen.
Yeah. Probably should, right? But how excited are you that Ronda is, like, like a real player now for the WWE. She's fun to watch.
It's great television. It was easily the best thing I've seen like all year. I think on Raw was that Ronda, Alexa, Kurt Angle segment. It was so good to watch. It was exactly what Ronda needs to do. Just go in there and just cause violence. That's it.
Even if it's against Kurt Angle.
Well, that's the fun part, is like you don't expect she's going to hit Kurt Angle, and she does several times. And referees. You got to be the new Stone Cold, and she is.
It was very Brock Lesnar-ish. You
Brock,
know when he just attacks everybody? Remember when he attacked Michael Cole?
I feel like Ronda still has a heart where Brock doesn't have a heart.
Yeah, I guess so.
She's still human.
Even as she was hitting Kurt Angle, she was like, "You're supposed to be my friend, man. Why are you doing this to me?" Brock just would hit him and laugh. Because Brock's just mean.
Oh, careless, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Where's Brock?
Vacation.
You see Braun Strowman this week? Braun Strowman won the Money in the Bank, by the way, which is amazing because Miz didn't win it. Miz didn't win anything this week.
SmackDown lost all the Money in Banks. It's crazy.
Yeah. Surprising, right?
Good for AJ.
Yeah, right. But Braun Strowman won the Raw Money in the Bank, and he came out and cut a promo and said, "I won Money in the Bank, and I'm going to challenge Brock Lesnar whenever he shows up." Brah! And I was like, yeah, that's it. That's it. That's a new impression, by the way. I just debuted on Wrestling Uncensored, John. What do you think? It's Braun Strowman, and I won Money in the Bank. I'm Mr. Monster in the Bank.
Where's the catchphrase?
Brah!
That's the taunt.
And you're Brock Lesnar. When I see you, you're gonna get these hands.
You know, it's kind of like The Undertaker, just like beefed up a lot.
Yeah, beefed up, monsterized.
Yeah.
Not bad, though. Pretty accurate. It's pretty much what he is.
I enjoy it.
Get these hands, Johnny North. You're gonna get these hands, too. Country strong on my arm, 'cause I'm big and brawn. My full name's Brontosaurus Strowman.
He's definitely tan strong on his arms. Not everywhere else, though.
Are you really critiquing his tan? Is that what you're doing right now?
100%. Lex Luger would do the same thing.
What are we talking about, Lex Luger? Oh, man. The total package. Not everybody can be the total package, John.
It's unfortunate.
So Braun Strowman won Money in the Bank, and he's like, whenever Brock shows up, he's going to get these hands. And I'm like, so when's that exactly? Why don't you just demand he show up? When's he going to show up? Where's Brock? SummerSlam? I'm guessing SummerSlam, right? Because then Kurt Angle shows up, and he's like, well, Kevin Owens showed up first, right? Kevin Owens was like, hey, Braun, congratulations on winning Money in the Bank. You need a strategy with the briefcase. And I've got all the strategies because I'm super smart. I'm Kevin Owens. And then Kevin Owens was like, I want an alliance with you, Braun. Like, we could team up. We could destroy this place together. And then when you win the title, you give me a title shot, and we're all good. And Braun's like, I don't know. And then he shakes his hand, but then he picks up Kevin Owens, going to power slam him, but then Kevin Owens slips away. But then later on, Kurt Angle's in the ring. And I guess this has nothing to do with Braun Strowman because he hasn't been put in the match, which is odd. But you figure he will be. Kurt Angle announces this match. He's talking to Roman Reigns. He's talking to Bobby Lashley. Lashley shows up. And they do a little promo thing where Angle says, at Extreme Rules, there's going to be a multi-man match where the winner will face Brock Lesnar. He didn't say how many men were going to be in the match. He didn't say when the winner would face Brock Lesnar. And I am now convinced that Kurt Angle is a terrible general manager and Paige is doing a far superior job on SmackDown. Because on SmackDown this week, we got clear-cut answers. Who's AJ Styles wrestling at Extreme Rules? Rusev, because Rusev won a gauntlet match, so it's Rusev and AJ Styles. Who's Who's Brock Lesnar wrestling at Extreme Rules? Nobody, because the champion never shows up at Extreme Rules. Well, what's the match for the main event for Raw? It's a multi-man match. How many guys are in the match? I can't tell you that. Who's in the match? Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns. Who else? I don't know yet. How are we going to decide who else is in the match? Don't know yet. How did Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns earn shots in the match? No reason in particular. Well, I guess they won matches at Money in the Bank.
And the tag match, too, on Raw.
And the tag match against the Revival.
It's a big win.
Ah.
By the way, Stephanie made Kurt Angle make that announcement. That wasn't Kurt Angle's idea.
Was it Stephanie or was it Corporal Corbin? Or Corporal? What is it? Constable Corbin.
No, Stephanie made the phone call, remember? And then Constable made sure that Kurt did what he was supposed to do.
Right. Announced the match.
That's it.
So it's Stephanie's fault that Angle's a bad GM? I think it's Constable Corbin's fault. Everything's Constable Corbin's fault.
I was surprised we saw Constable wrestle in his Constable gear, even. That was very surprising.
Have you not realized he's just Corporate Kane?
I think Chief Morley more, but yeah, he's pretty much that gimmick, yeah.
Corporate Kane wrestle. Did Chief Morley ever wrestle in his, biz cash attire?
Maybe once or twice, but it was very rare. He actually had, just his ring gear. But yeah, I guess in that sense, Corporate Kane.
That's right. Corporate Kane wrestled in slacks, brother.
But Corporate Kane never won, and Constable won.
Did Constable Corbin just steal Jack Gallagher's gimmick? Wasn't Jack Gallagher wrestling in, full, shirt and pants clothing?
Dress, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they got two guys doing that now?
Well, not everyone watches 205 Live, so they can get away with it.
They're ripping off their own stuff. WWE winning in originality once again. Constable Corbin. I mean, what a concept there. Constable Corbin teaming up with Kevin Owens and Braun Strowman. And they actually beat Braun Strowman and Finn Balor. Corbin hit his end of days on Balor, while Strowman was distracted after he put Kevin Owens through the barricade with a shoulder tackle. Pretty rough week for Kevin Owens this week. Doing that big fall off the ladder through all those tables at Money in the Bank. Huge fall off a 20-foot ladder. And then taking a big bump with Braun Strowman the next night. I hope Kevin Owens is feeling all right. And I hope he gets his wish to hear that Shania Twain song on Tuesday at the Bell Center. KO's going to be at some sort of Shania Twain concert, and he's been petitioning his fans and his followers on Twitter to get Shania to play a certain song. I'm not sure what song it is, but KO really wants to hear that song, and he's going to be at the Shania Twain concert on Tuesday at the Bell Center. So if you're going to see Shania Twain here in Montreal on Tuesday night, you may run into the former Universal Champion, Mr. Kevin Owens, of The Kevin Owens Show.
And knowing Kevin, he just loves people coming up to him and just talking to him out of nowhere. He loves that so much.
Yeah.
You should definitely do that for Kevin.
Well, don't bother him, but just be like, we love you, KO. Just say that. Love you, KO. And just walk away. That's fine. That's not bothering him. KO.
Yeah, he doesn't get upset much. It's fine.
Watch out, man. He may pop up powerbomb you through something at that Shania Twain show. So be careful when you're around Kevin Owens. Don't bother him. I mean, he's trying to enjoy himself. Don't go up to him mid-song and be like, can I get a picture? Don't do that. That's just rude. Don't do that to anybody. It's rude.
Well, I think
do it to Johnny North, though.
Yeah, I'm not going to be at the Shania Twain concert. I'm very sorry about that. But I think Kevin is doing a lot better than his buddy, Sami Zayn, right now.
Sammy's hurt.
For a long time.
He's out of WWE until 2019. That's the latest word. Sami Zayn has what kind of injury?
Both his shoulders. It's rotator cuffs.
That's rough. And it's not the first time he's had a shoulder injury in the WWE. If you remember when he had his debut here against John Cena, he hurt his shoulder. And he was out for a little while. So now 2 shoulders hurt, and he's not going to be on Raw for the rest of 2018. That sucks.
Apparently he hurt it again when he wrestled Jinder Mahal at a house show here in Montreal. I don't know if you remember that one. He wrestled for the WWE Championship.
Right. That was a while ago.
It was, but he was hurt back then, and he's been wrestling still.
Wow.
And eventually it just caught up to him.
Well, wish Sami a speedy recovery disappointed that we won't see him for a while. I love watching Sami Zayn on TV, and Raw is hard to watch, and the two shining lights of Raw are Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And now there's no more Sami because he's hurt. So that's a real disappointment. That's a real bummer. I hope Sami can use this time to, for the best. He's off the road. I hope he can do whatever he wants to do here while he's rehabbing his shoulder.
Well, it'd be great if they could still have him on TV as a personality, just doing something. Because I think he's a great talker. He's really developed.
Listen, we've got Constable Corbin on Raw. How come we don't have... Sammy's on Raw, too. I guess we can't have... Can we have another Constable? Constable Sami? Double Constable?
Yeah, I don't see that working out.
Can Paige have some sort of assistant? Corporal Sami? Or Sergeant Sami? Let's do Sergeant Sami. How about that? Sergeant Sami Slaughter. He just does a Sergeant Slaughter gimmick for the next few months. He's confused. He's lost. Bobby Lashley knocked him so silly that Sami Zayn now thinks he's Sergeant Slaughter, but not like early 90s Sergeant Slaughter. He's late 90s Commissioner Slaughter, and he thinks he's the commissioner of SmackDown, so he's wandering around SmackDown acting like Sergeant Slaughter, Commissioner Sergeant Slaughter.
This sounds like a better gimmick for R-Truth, actually, but...
I'm trying to find ways to keep Sami on TV, okay? He's doing a Sergeant Slaughter 1997 gimmick. With the DX, with the windshield wipers when he's talking in their face. That's Sergeant Slaughter. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know that one, yeah.
Listen here, man. No, I don't. I went to Braun Strowman again. I don't have a Sergeant Slaughter impression. Do you?
No, I don't.
It's
been too long.
You don't have any impressions. Give me a Hulk Hogan. Everybody does that.
I don't, brother.
Let me tell you something, dude.
That was actually more of a Green Phantom kind of thing, actually.
Hanging out with the Phantom. Johnny North, there was a big firing in the WWE this week. It shook the WWE universe to its core.
It didn't for you, but okay.
I was a bit surprised.
Yeah, okay, pleasantly, fine, but...
Well, let's say I'm not a fan of this man. Big Cass was fired from the WWE this week. He lost to Daniel Bryan at Money in the Bank and was then fired 2 days later at SmackDown.
And wasn't wished best of luck in his future endeavors.
No, he was not. He was just fired. I'm not sure why he was fired. There's a lot of rumors going around that he was complaining backstage, that he was unhappy. This all stems from another event here in Montreal when they were here for Raw, where there was a little person, or for SmackDown, right? Raw and SmackDown.
Right.
There was a little person there portraying Daniel Bryan, and Big Cass was supposed to only give him a big boot, but then Big Cass punched him and did all sorts of extra stuff to him that he wasn't supposed to do. So apparently he got in trouble for that, and he was being punished for that. And I don't know. I don't know what exactly was going on backstage. I'm not backstage. I'm not going to pretend to know all the details. But from what I understand, it seems like it was an attitude problem with Big Cass, not listening to direction, not doing as he was told. And if you don't do what Vince McMahon tells you, he's going to show you the door.
Apparently there's an incident at a house show where he's yelling at one of the agents. And apparently I guess he told him to go F himself, the agent.
Oh, really?
And apparently there's a camera of this too, so that's not good.
Well, there you go. He's getting into trouble. He's having an attitude problem backstage, and that's why they let him go. I would have let him go for his poor wrestling skills and lack of charisma. However it happens, it happened. And I'm not going to pretend that I'm sad to see Big Cass go. You all know how I was enjoying his promos on SmackDown. I don't think anybody was enjoying those promos. It happens. I mean, Big Cass is gone. I think it's odd the way it did happen because he just wrestled on pay-per-view against Daniel Bryan. But I'm not going to miss seeing him. I don't think there was a huge upside there. There are a lot of talented guys on SmackDown that can fill that spot easily.
Yeah, I think so, but he's really tall. And
And you can't teach that.
yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
And
Isn't it funny to see how far Enzo and Cass have fallen? Like, remember when they were one of the hottest tag teams in professional wrestling, and now they're both not employed by the WWE?
Yeah, but with Enzo, that's just unfortunate circumstances. Like, it's not really because, well, maybe it is a little bit because of what he does, but because of what he does, that's what got him over. And it's a shame because of certain, like, that unfortunate rape charge against him that things fell apart. It really shouldn't have, but it did.
That charge got dropped, and the WWE fired him for not letting them know that he was under investigation, but he felt that the investigation was nonsense and was going to lead to nothing, and it eventually did lead to nothing, but they let him go anyways. But Enzo seems like a problem waiting to happen no matter what, and maybe they were better off.
A lot of people could say the same thing about CM Punk, and yet they kept him. And they used that to their advantage.
CM Punk was never investigated for potential rape, though. You know? CM Punk never released a rap song that was terrible. I mean, come on. There's a lot of problems that Enzo Amore was having backstage that the WWE eventually grew sick of.
Well,
and the same happened to Big Cass this week.
We sit through a lot of...
Yet Carmella still on top as the SmackDown Women's Champion. Who would have thought that Carmella would be the one to survive from that group?
It's not the first time usually the spin-offs do better than the actual gimmick. You think about the Hollies. Molly Holly kind of became a bigger star than both Hardcore and Crash.
Hardcore had a pretty good career.
He did, but Molly was WrestleMania. Like Hardcore, like very few times. Molly got her head shaved, I think, if I'm not mistaken, at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Okay. Doesn't always happen, though.
Well, it's happening in this case, is it not?
Yeah.
And Carmella, in my opinion, she just had the match of her career this past Sunday.
Against Asuka?
Yeah.
I thought it was all right. I wasn't blown away.
For Carmella, for what she's done so far, that was easily her best match.
She beat Asuka, too. James Ellsworth came back, as we predicted.
Yep.
And he caused the distraction for Carmella to pin Asuka. He didn't attack Asuka. He didn't do anything. Carmella still kicked her in the face and pinned her 1-2-3 in the middle of the ring, which was a bit surprising. She is the first person to pin Asuka in the WWE. Charlotte made her tap at WrestleMania. Carmella has pinned Asuka. No one else has done that. Something.
And also left her laying this week on SmackDown as well.
Yeah. Another distraction from Ellsworth during a promo. Asuka comes out, and Carmella attacks her and beats her up.
You talk about how Ronda is one of the top women in wrestling. Carmella's up there too. I mean, she's not Ronda level. I would be serious about that. Like, she's not even close, but she's definitely an attraction, without question.
Yeah? Are you enjoying the promos from Carmella?
They're better than the other ones. They're better than the Iconics. The Iconics are kind of annoying now.
Yeah, I didn't really like that Iconics promo on Becky Lynch this week. It was really not much of anything. They're like, Becky, you're a loser. You always lose. And then Becky beat Billie Kay in a match right after.
The Iconics feel kind of tired. Where Carmella, like, it's not the greatest promo, but I'd rather listen to her talk than most of the other ones.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say she's a character. She's a good heel. She's got it down. And not many in the women's division have that character down as well as Carmella. But what's happening to Asuka is a little bit worrisome because they had her at such a level. They had her really strong as a real top attraction, you know? And I feel like they're hurting the power, the drawing power of Asuka right now by having her look so weak next to Carmella, who, you know, she's got a good character, but her wrestling is not such where you believe it, and you don't believe her to be so strong, yet she's getting wins over Asuka. It's not really that believable that Carmella would ever beat Asuka. Yet she's, kicking her in the face, and then Asuka goes down, and she's attacking Asuka on SmackDown, and Asuka's selling for, Asuka's just getting beat up by Ronda Rousey. But Carmella's not Ronda Rousey, and I think that's hurting Asuka, is the lack of believability in Carmella. Like, you don't really believe in Carmella as being that strong, and then when she beats up Asuka, it makes Asuka look pretty weak, which is unfortunate because Asuka, for a really good stretch, was looking very strong and was somebody that you could really build around, and she was one of the few stars in that women's division, and now I feel like WWE is slowing that momentum, which they do so often.
Well, Carmella is the new Alexa Bliss right now in terms of push. Look at Alexa, what she did. Bayley was a big star, and then after losing to Alexa in some of the worst matches we've seen in WWE, Bayley is now nothing. And Sasha, the same thing. So now it's just happened on SmackDown, different girl.
I guess. But Asuka, it shouldn't be. I mean, Asuka's a very good wrestler. Asuka's a real talent. Asuka's a real star. Are you saying they're going to do what they did to Bayley to Asuka? If so, I mean, that's obviously the wrong move, right?
Look at what they're doing to Nakamura.
At least he's feuding with Jeff Hardy. Do you think Asuka's going to take the title from Carmella? I think she should, but I'm starting to wonder.
It's tough when Charlotte's on the same brand because I always think Charlotte's going to win the title back eventually, and I feel like plans are for Charlotte to eventually win the title back. How it's going to happen, I'm not 100% sure, but it's going to happen.
Where's Charlotte, though? I thought Charlotte was hurt, too. She's dealing with some injuries.
Yeah, she is.
I think the plan right now should be for Asuka to take the title and for Charlotte to chase. The division shouldn't be about Carmella. As much as she is a good character and she can cut a decent promo, there's not that much there. It's not like the promo is The Rock. She's not incredible on the mic, and in the ring, she's below the level of a lot of the others. Asuka, Charlotte, Becky, Naomi. A lot of the talent on SmackDown is just more sound in the ring than Carmella is. So the division to revolve around Carmella is like, I don't know. There's a lot of other talented people that maybe it should be about instead.
If you would have told me last year that Alexa Bliss was going to face Ronda Rousey, I'd be like, that's a joke. And look what we have now.
Well, you expect it to be a total squash, though, if they go one-on-one. You were the guy just telling me that to make that match believable, you need to put Nia Jax in there as an obstacle.
And look what happened when it was Nia versus Alexa. I thought that'd be a squash WrestleMania, and that was 10 agonizing minutes instead. So what we believe and look at when we see Alexa or Carmella, WWE sees differently. They see someone who's actually a star, not someone who's just going to get walked over on.
But don't you worry about when it's Carmella against... I guess she has enough good baby faces to work that she can look good, right? I mean, you got Asuka, Charlotte, Becky, Naomi. The women I just mentioned, all baby faces, all potential opponents for Carmella, could all probably bring her to a pretty decent match, right? So maybe Carmella as champion makes sense as the heel champion because she's got a lot of good baby faces around her to have good matches. Maybe. I would rather Asuka as a top heel, though. Asuka or Charlotte as a top heel, and then just having the good wrestlers wrestle each other.
You already have a top heel. Why switch it? You've already built this up enough. I think run the course right now. Now that you have James Ellsworth in the equation, this is like new life to her title reign.
Yeah, it is. Now that Ellsworth is back, it feels like they have a lot more invested in Carmella going forward.
I definitely think she's going to make it to SummerSlam, without question.
Yeah, but I can see her dropping it at SummerSlam.
Well, most of the heels lose at SummerSlam. It's kind of show.
There was a big debut on SmackDown this week. We're going to get to that. We're also going to get to some sad news in the world of professional wrestling. We will pay tribute to the late, great, Big Van Vader. Vader time, forever. It is Wrestling Uncensored. Stay with us.
Hey, this is Antonio Cesaro, and you're listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
What's going on, y'all? This is WWE superstar Kofi Kingston, and you're listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
This is Rob Van Dam. You're listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
All right, welcome back. It is Wrestling Uncensored. I'm Dave Simon. He is Johnny North. WrestlingUncensored.net is our website. Here with you every Saturday night on TSN 690, talking professional wrestling. We had a debut this week on Smackdown. Sanity. Eric Young and his guys. Do you know what their names are?
Killian Dane, I think is one.
Yeah.
The other one, I don't know.
Killian Dane is like the chubby guy, right?
Yep.
And then the other guy is another guy. I don't know their names. I know Eric Young. Showtime Eric Young. EY.
He's not Showtime anymore.
Don't fire Eric. Right, remember that?
Right.
Yeah, Showtime Eric Young. He's not Showtime anymore?
I'm pretty sure it's just Eric Young now.
Another great Canadian wrestler.
Trained by Carl LeDuc.
Is he?
He was, yeah.
Wow. I like Eric Young. I've always been a fan. I'm happy to see him finally, after so many years as a professional wrestler, on the main roster in the WWE. Like, I know he was in NXT for a while, and of course he was on TNA for so long. But this guy, I mean, he's been working for years and years in professional wrestling. I've been watching this guy. It's got to feel good to finally be in the WWE. Like, it's a long journey for this guy.
Still hasn't wrestled yet on TV, though.
Yeah, but come on, man. They beat up the Usos their first night on SmackDown. They had a nice little debut. It's cool to see Eric Young in the WWE. Like, I'm happy for him. The guy deserves it.
Oh, it's great, but I feel the way they're going with this gimmick, they're not really going to have wrestling matches. It's just going to be brawls. That's it.
Well, eventually they're going to wrestle.
Are they? Like, because it just seems like they're not interested in rules or anything. That's the way they were selling the gimmick anyways. That it's just them coming in, kind of like the Riot Squad where they just cause chaos. That's it.
The Riot Squad wrestles?
They do, yeah. But backstage they cause chaos.
Yeah. Whatever that is.
But Sanity does it in the ring instead.
So they beat up the Usos before a match could even happen. Sanity operating on the same show as the Bludgeon Brothers in the tag team division doesn't seem to make sense because they look similar. I feel like they have a similar style gimmick.
Yes.
How does that work?
They become a super team?
I think you have to, right? But then, like, aren't Harper and Rowan just back in the Wyatt family? It's just called a different thing, and they have a different leader? Like, isn't Sanity just a new Wyatt family?
I felt they were like a new Shield, the way their entrance was with the camera moving all over the place.
Maybe it's a mix between the two. It's not a very original or exciting concept. Like, I don't love the idea of Sanity.
We haven't seen enough of this yet to know where it's really going. I mean, they just did a brawl, that's it.
It could go the way of the Ascension very quickly.
No, I feel like it's definitely a lot more interesting than that. Because Ascension right away, they're just like, we're better than all those teams in the past. Like, that wasn't anything fun. This, at least, like, well, they like just to hurt people. I enjoy that.
Yeah, I know. That's part of your gimmick, too. You like that. The Bludgeon Brothers had an interesting week on SmackDown. They beat the Good Brothers, Anderson and Gallows, to retain the tag team titles. I thought that was a pretty good match on SmackDown.
I thought the promo beforehand was very off-putting, where the club just talk about how good they look.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not Lex Luger here. I don't know what they're doing. Like,
Anderson's got abs, man. What's the problem? You jealous?
I got abs too, but, you know, like, you don't have to show it off. That's not part of your gimmick. Like,
it is part of his gimmick. You don't follow him on Twitter?
I thought their gimmick was that they're not nerds. Like, I thought that was their thing.
They got new gimmicks all the time, man. You got to evolve. It's pro wrestling.
All right.
I had no problem with that promo. I thought that promo was fine. I thought their match was good. But now I don't know where Anderson and Gallows go. But as the Bludgeon Brothers were leaving, Daniel Bryan made his entrance for the gauntlet match. And the Bludgeon Brothers and Daniel Bryan had a bit of a stare down. Now, this will come back to haunt Daniel Bryan, as after he has a match with Big E, which was great.
Without question.
Fantastic match. Daniel Bryan's the best. Daniel Bryan then wrestled Samoa Joe in another very good match.
Surprising.
Joe losing to Bryan by countout. So Bryan beats Big E and Samoa Joe back-to-back. And then the Bludgeon Brothers attack Daniel Bryan.
But there was an incident that happened before the match started.
What happened?
The Bludgeon Brothers were leaving after they beat the club, and Daniel Bryan...
no, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, because they had that face-off when Bryan was making his entrance. The brothers were leaving. The Bludgeons were leaving, right?
Yep.
And they had a little thing, and it came back to haunt them because the Bludgeons later on decided to attack Daniel Bryan. Like, I get it. Okay, they had a little face-off. They didn't like that Bryan made his entrance while they were making their exit or whatever problem they had. But, like, is Bryan in the tag team division now? What's going on? Why would the Bludgeon Brothers attack him here? Is this a feud? And again, do you remember what Luke Harper did to Daniel Bryan last time they wrestled a match? He almost ended his career.
Oh, yeah, he dropped him on his head?
That
was awesome.
So you're going to put Daniel Bryan, after his feud with Big Cass, a big green guy that you didn't even think was worth having in your company, you're going to throw him with Luke Harper? Are you trying to kill Daniel Bryan? Are you trying to end his career again? Like, is that what the WWE's purpose is? Well, by God, we're going to throw everything at him. We're going to send him in there with Harper and Sheamus, and then I'm going to hire the Ryback again. Like, what are they trying to do?
Well, first, if they wanted to kill Daniel Bryan, he'd be wrestling on every show and wrestling twice a night.
Against Brock Lesnar.
Well, Brock, he'll be done first match in,
Yeah.
So you know that's not happening.
I hope not.
I think it's just they have an intriguing situation where Daniel Bryan doesn't really have a match because he's not going to be in the title match, but they want to put him in an important match, and the tag team title match last pay-per-view was on the pre-show. But put Daniel Bryan in there with somebody against the Bludgeons, that's going to be on the pay-per-view.
Somebody. The question, of course, who? Who? Big E?
That's interesting.
Can Daniel Bryan just join the New Day? How about Daniel Bryan's in the New Day from now on?
Well, judging off SmackDown, I'm guessing Renee Young, because Renee Young was like his partner or friend or whatever.
Yeah, okay, that's a joke. Seriously, who would Daniel Bryan even team up with to face the Bludgeon Brothers? Samoan Joe?
I think you and I and everyone else knows who it should be, and I hope he comes back in time. It needs to be Randy Orton. It just makes perfect sense.
So we do a Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton tag team title run for the next few months? Is that what you want to see? I mean, I don't.
I don't know if they're going to win, but I think that's what the match should be.
Bryan and Randy against the Bludgeon Brothers.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
Why don't we just do Bryan and The Miz? Because The Miz shows up after this attack by the Bludgeon Brothers. After Bryan wrestles 2 matches and gets beat up by the tag team champions, The Miz shows up because he's the next entrant in the gauntlet match. He hits his finisher on Bryan and then pins him, and that's how he eliminates Bryan. But The Miz and Bryan, obviously unfinished business. Shouldn't that be the match at Extreme Rules, Miz versus Bryan? Because Miz then wrestled Rusev, who beat him. Rusev Crush beats him with the Accolade. And Rusev now is a #1 contender for AJ Styles. It's Rusev Day against AJ at Extreme Rules for the WWE Championship, which I think is pretty cool. I like that. I think they're going to have a great match. I like Rusev getting the opportunity. I don't think there's a chance in hell that he wins. But, hey, it's a fun, fresh matchup for us.
It feels like the way that all ended is that they're really trying to make Rusev a face, completely a face, and maybe have him and Aiden English no longer as a team because AJ shook Rusev's hand but beat up Aiden English.
Well, because AJ showed up after the gauntlet match to shake Rusev's hand. Rusev shook his hand, all respect, and then Aiden English is like, hey, shake my hand, and then AJ goes to shake his hand, and English does the old hand through the hair gimmick, not shaking his hand, but just like, saying, ooh, I'm too cool for you, I'm not shaking your hand, AJ. So then AJ punches him in the face, and Rusev isn't mad at AJ, which is normally the reaction would be like, hey, you just attacked my guy, now I'm going to attack you, we're wrestling for the title. No, instead he's like, why'd you do that, Aiden English? Why did you disrespect AJ? Why you got to be a dick?
So maybe that's going to be the thing that maybe Rusev doesn't win, but he's going to become completely a face with him and Aiden English no longer a team.
Maybe that's what happens next for Rusev. It's Rusev versus English at SummerSlam or something.
That might make pre-show, but okay.
Yeah, well, that's where I'm saying it's going to be at.
It's a drop. You go from WWE Championship to pre-show, but all right.
It's happened before.
Oh, of course, but it sucks for Rusev, though.
Well, he's going to get a title match with AJ Styles first, though. He's got like a month to build up to that. WWE Extreme Rules, July 15th in Pittsburgh. AJ and Rusev is official. The multi-man match to determine the number one contender for Brock Lesnar is going to happen, but only Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley are official. Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax for the Raw Women's title, also official for WWE Extreme Rules. On SmackDown this week, we saw the Iconics beat Becky Lynch. We saw Jeff Hardy cut that promo. We saw Nakamura cut that promo. Will Nakamura and Jeff Hardy wrestle each other at Extreme Rules? Like, are we waiting for that? I heard Jeff Hardy was dealing with some injury issues as well. What's the story on that? And will Nakamura just take the U.S. title here?
Very possible. Because, we don't see Jeff Hardy wrestle that much. He wrestled Nakamura, but that was about it. Didn't wrestle on the pay-per-view, which was kind of weird. Yeah, maybe likely that Jeff's just hurt and they have to have him drop the title and they're just waiting for that moment.
I wanted to mention this great promo that happened on Raw this week. The B Team.
Oh, yes.
Making fun of, doing their impression of Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy. I thought that was excellent. I thought Curtis Axel as Broken Matt did a really good job. And, of course, Bo Dallas doing Bray Wyatt was excellent. He did a bang-on Bray Wyatt impression. I wonder why he's so good at that.
I think
maybe because they look exactly alike, because they're brothers. As soon as he put that fake beard on, I'm like, oh my god, these guys look exactly the same.
Well, obviously Bo not so chubby, but yeah.
Yeah, but they're legit real life brothers, and him doing the impression of his brother, I thought was hilarious.
Axel had the best line though after Bo did the reveal that it's them, that it wasn't actually Bray and Matt. Axel had the best line where he's like, I don't break character. Like Matt. Because Matt's always in character,
Oh,
too.
I see.
I thought that was really good.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I don't do that. I thought that was a really good little promo. I was really entertained by that. The best stuff that the B Team has done so far. The Deleters of Worlds beat Slater and Rhino on Raw. Jinder Mahal beating Chad Gable. Man, they're really doing nothing with Chad Gable, eh? Nothing.
They got to reboot Jinder Mahal again, so... Gable's got to fall.
Mojo Rawley beating No Way Jose. What is the point of this stuff on Raw? When you see that match, you're like, what am I watching here? Why am I watching this? That was not good. It was not good in any way. Not interesting in any way. What's the point of that? It's just to fill time.
I felt this week Raw started good and progressively got bad, where SmackDown didn't really start that good, but got better as it went on.
Well, the gauntlet match.
Well, that's it.
Daniel Bryan wrestling Big E and Samoa Joe. That was SmackDown.
Well, and Rusev. I mean, that was a nice moment for him, too.
Yeah, nice surprise to see Rusev have a big match against AJ. Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan wound up beating Bayley and Sasha after an illegal attack from Logan and a handful of tights. Referees are never, ever noticing when people grab the handful of tights for the pinfall anymore. Like, I've not seen a referee say, hey, don't do that to anybody in a very, very long time. And I feel like matches are won with the roll-up, with the handful of tights, so often now that it feels like it's not even illegal to do.
Well, it just goes to show you they're not very creative with their finishes because they're just doing the same finishes over and over and over again.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be a cheat to finish, right? But, like, if it is, the referee once in a while should say, hey, don't do that. Just so we know that it is a cheat. Because I think a lot of people are watching now and saying, yeah, you can hold the tights to make the pinfall, but that's illegal in professional wrestling. Whatever happened to the rules of pro wrestling, Sean?
Well, you saw when Dolph Ziggler won the IC championship as well. Tights. They're just using the same finishes over and over.
That's it. And I don't even think they mentioned it on commentary.
I think they may have briefly mentioned it, but yeah.
Well, there's going to be a rematch. Seth Rollins will wrestle Dolph Ziggler on Raw coming up Monday night. I was surprised to see Dolph Ziggler win the Intercontinental title.
It's nice. You didn't really see it coming, but I feel like it's because they want Seth Rollins in that Extreme Rules match to see who faces Brock Lesnar, because I could easily believe Seth Rollins wins that match.
Yeah. Seth or Roman, I think, right?
Easily, yeah.
Maybe Seth, though, because Roman's faced Brock so much.
Well, if Braun's in it, never bet against Braun, right? Because Braun wins everything.
Does Brock drop the title at SummerSlam?
Well, does he wrestle at SummerSlam is the huge question.
There's a rumor that Brock's deal, I think Dana White even said that his deal is supposed to be done in August. Like, by the end of the summer, Brock is done with the WWE. His contract is up. That's what Dana White said.
Well, isn't he supposed to meet with Brock sometime in July?
There's a strong rumor that Brock Lesnar is going to show up at UFC 226 and challenge the winner of DC and Stipe.
That's fun. I enjoy that. I want to see that.
It's very possible.
That's not bad for WWE.
Brock's going to get smashed. That is not a good fight for Brock, Stipe or DC. Brock gets smoked in those fights. Either or. You want to see Brock get beat up? Tune into one of those fights.
But you said the same thing about Mark Hunt. And
yeah, okay, but we're talking about a different level here. All right. I won't doubt Brock. But Brock was on illegal drugs. Brock didn't win that fight. It was a no contest. Brock still hasn't finished serving his suspension for that.
Well, that's what makes this all interesting. It's like he still has 6 months left, so is he really going to drop the Universal Championship right away when he doesn't have to?
I would like him to.
You'd like that, but I'm sure WWE would love to have him as champion as long as possible.
Maybe, maybe not. If your champion loses to the UFC champion, shouldn't the UFC champion be your champion now?
Yeah, but it looks like that fight, if it's going to happen, it's going to be next year, so...
So we have time.
Yeah, I got a lot of time.
Well, if it's not going to happen at SummerSlam, like say Brock's fighting in January, he needs to drop the title by the Rumble.
He would have to, yes.
Right? So you'd want him to drop the title before fighting for the UFC. That makes sense, right? Because if you go to the UFC as a WWE Universal Champion and you lose on pay-per-view in front of millions of people, how does that make the rest of the roster look, and how does that make Brock look? And your Universal Championship.
I don't think that tarnishes the championship.
Doesn't help.
I don't think it hurts it. The fact that Brock is put in a position like this just shows you what an amazing athlete that he is.
What an amazing draw that he is.
Whatever words you want to use, fine.
Spectacle.
Some would say CM Punk going to the UFC tarnished the WWE because it showed you that a WWE champion going in there doesn't always work.
I think it tarnished the UFC more than WWE. It showed you that the UFC was willing to do whatever for entertainment value, and it's not really about the sport of things.
That might help Brock in this case, too.
Yeah, for sure. The UFC has become sports entertainment. It's not fully a sport. I mean, the fights are real, but it's very much about entertainment over what's right for the sport. Like, Brock is not the number one contender in the heavyweight division, but they'll give him that spot because he sells pay-per-views. He doesn't deserve a title shot, but he'll get it because he's got a name. CM Punk didn't deserve to fight in the UFC, but he got a contract and he got paid because he has a name. Other guys deserve it. These guys don't deserve it, but they sell.
It goes to show that
money talks.
Yep.
That's the way it works. Johnny, I want to wrap this show up, but before we do, I want to pay tribute to the late great Leon White, Big Van Vader, the Mastodon, Vader Time, whatever you want to call him. One of the greatest, big, scary heels in the history of the wrestling business. He passed away this week, and we know he was dealing with some health issues, but just sad to hear that we lost Vader, another legend in the wrestling business. And I just wanted to remember him a little bit at the end of the program here. I was a big fan of Vader's. I'm not really sure when I became aware of him, but I feel like I've always been aware of Vader. For the entire time that I was a pro wrestling fan, Vader has just always been a staple, this big, scary guy. I remember seeing him in the early 90s in WCW just so intimidating. You believed it. You believed he was this monster from outer space or whatever he was supposed to be from. He was otherworldly. He was different. He didn't look like anybody else in pro wrestling. There was no other Vader. You couldn't compare him to anybody else. The way he moved, he was so athletic for his size. He was so big, so scary. The gimmick was perfect. The promos were scary. The yelling, the intimidating, the mask, the singlet, just everything about Vader worked. He was the perfect monster in professional wrestling.
I met him twice.
You met him twice?
Yeah. One time he just walked right by me. I put my hand out, shake my hand, how are you, sir? Just walked right by me. So I didn't think much of Vader at first, but it doesn't take away from like what he did in the ring and his accomplishments. And like, if anything now, I look at handshakes now and it's like, it's not the end all be all. Like, do I have to shake everyone's hands? No. Vader didn't have to, so I don't have to.
What about the second time?
Yeah, it wasn't a personal thing. I just think he wasn't in a good mood or whatever. So
the second time was kind of the same deal. He didn't really talk to you.
I said hi, hello, but he did shake my hand, whatever,
He didn't shake your hand.
No, he did the second time.
He did. Okay.
The second time, yeah. So I think he was probably in a bad mood or something, or jet lag or whatever. I don't take it personally.
So you wrestled on the same card as Vader a couple times.
Yeah.
When was this?
Well, this was probably about 3-4 years ago.
Okay. Wow, Vader.
But I could tell back then, like, he was in pain. Like, he was on the floor, I think, the second time, almost the whole time.
Just lying on the floor?
Yeah, just trying to get ready for the match, and that was a match, too. He didn't do much. It was a triple threat match, so the other guys did a lot of it, just bump for him, and that's it. I don't think he took any bumps that match. Just him getting up, getting to the ring was a chore in itself.
Really?
Yeah, he looked very rough.
Like his back, you think, or what was going on?
I think it was a lot of everything.
Just the years of wear and tear and everything, yeah. Such a big guy, that big frame. And he wrestled a really stiff, strong style. He was the first ever non-Japanese IWGP heavyweight champion.
I could believe that just on his look. You look at him and it's like, wow, like you should put a title on him.
He was a huge star in Japan, huge star in WCW, huge star in the WWE. People say his WWE run was not that great, but I remember him having some great moments in the WWE. I remember enjoying him in the WWE. Of course, there's that famous incident with Shawn Michaels where Shawn yelled at him on pay-per-view.
Well, there's that, and there's the incident where they made him go out on TV and say that he's a big fat piece of garbage.
Did they do that?
They made him do that, yeah.
Why?
Because that was the gimmick, that he didn't believe himself anymore, and that led to nothing. I mean, he eventually got released, too. Like, they made him look like garbage by doing that.
That's rough.
And yet they'll praise him and everything, but of course they'll forget about that little bit of history.
Yeah, well, his WWE run wasn't the best. And I was surprised this week when somebody pointed out that he's not in the WWE Hall of Fame.
Apparently, like, if you really want it, they're like, maybe not so much.
Oh, so Vader wanted to be in the Hall of Fame and they weren't that interested?
Apparently.
That's the deal. If you want it too much, they won't put you in? That's nice.
That's unfortunate. Well, you have to understand it's all about money with them, and they want to get you when you're most valuable. And maybe him dead, he's more valuable now.
Oh my God, that is.
This is WWE. It's a business, man. This isn't Friends here.
Yeah, that's true. It's a cold world, John. Oh my goodness.
The show gets dark a couple of times, and it's getting dark again.
Yeah, whose fault is that?
I blame WWE.
I blame you.
This is my fault.
You took it to a dark place. We're trying to celebrate the life of Vader, and you're like, he's worth more dead. God. That is sinister, Johnny North. And we're going to end the show on that. How about that? When can people see you in the ring to hurl insults at you, throw batteries at your face, and throw cups of what you hope is beer at you?
Oh, you're a wonderful human being. Like, not only did you say you wanted a dinosaur to eat me,
yeah,
this week.
I do want a dinosaur to eat you. I stand by that statement. I want to see you eaten by a dinosaur. If dinosaurs come back to life, I'd like to see you eaten by a dinosaur. John, you know how ridiculous that is? Dinosaurs will never come back. You'll never get eaten by a dinosaur. I hope I get eaten by a dinosaur. I hope we all get eaten by dinosaurs. It's not going to happen. I'm not saying I hope you get struck by lightning, okay? I hope that doesn't happen to you. Because I know it's possible. It's highly unlikely, but it's possible. And I do not wish that upon you. But I know that a dinosaur eating you will never happen. So yes, I wish that upon you. Because I wish to see a real-life dinosaur. That will be the most impressive thing. I'll tell you what, John. If I see a real-life dinosaur and you're getting eaten, my main concern won't be, oh my God, Johnny North is getting eaten by a dinosaur. My main concern will be, I better get the hell out of here. There's a dinosaur, and he's got a taste for blood.
Well, on that note, the new Jurassic Park World movie is out, so check that out. It was really good.
Yeah, we got your review on the Wrestling Uncensored pre-show, which you can watch on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ringsidereport.net, with the .net spelled out, DOTNET, all the info for that on our website, wrestlinguncensored.net. When's your next wrestling match?
Keep checking my Twitter feed, because I don't even know yet. So.
All right, he doesn't know. Follow him or book him. Book him for your next wrestling match, because, you know, if your show needs a good talent, a big, strong dude, works out all the time, big, jacked Johnny North, you can book him at North Genesis. You can book me as well to be his manager at Dave Simon MMA on Twitter. A big thanks to Marco and Jimmy for helping us out, and a thanks to you for listening. For Johnny North, I am Dave Simon, and this has been Wrestling Uncensored. Yeah.
Yeah.